Memories are our most precious. Not only do they define us as who we are, they also shape and make us understand the world around us. They open us a world to interact and communicate in, but ultimately limit us in their inaccuracy, as our brain does not save memories like a hard drive saves files. The brain filters and compresses the information, in addition to it losing richness over time. So to understand why our memories are not accurate, we need to understand how we perceive the information, which will end up creating the memory. Every moment of our life, we are flooded with a sea of information, and it is impossible for us to keep up with its magnitude. To understand, interpret, and act to what we see and hear, we need to reduce the information we receive to manageable chunks, with a technique called schematic processing. Schemas are organized knowledge structures, which selectively direct attention to relevant and useful information. In a sense, a schema can be a person which you associate certain information with. For example, the information that comes in your mind when talking about the President of the United States. Schemas get activated by people, objects, or events and help us understand their correlation. Seeing a man in police uniform activates the police category schema and the getting a traffic ticket and behaving in public script. You behave, act, and perceive information differently once a schema is activated. You would, for example, not show certain behavior in front of a police officer, but also show certain behavior that you would not otherwise. Schemas can also be activated without you seeing a certain stimuli. You could read or hear about a certain topic, which will then activate the schema. And those schemas are everywhere. They are a part of you as an individual. Being a policeman, you will have a chronic activation of crime-related schemas, and because of it, you will interpret innocent behavior as suspicious. Schemas can also be found in social roles. Having a role of high social power encourages category-based perception of your subordinates, while lower power encourages individual perception. Schemas direct our attention. For example, when you are driving your car, you are focusing on the information you need to successfully get through traffic, which also means that you will filter unrelated information, such as the lyrics of the song playing on the radio or in which degree the sun is standing in correlation to your position. The activated schemas will also affect the processing of new information. A mother watching a documentary about sexual abuse will in that moment think about the activities between her child and his uncle differently. Schemas can also form constructive errors in memories, in which people remember additional information that they have never witnessed. In 1992, a Boeing 747 crashed into a building in Amsterdam. While the media coverage started 1 hour after the crash and there was no footage of the crash, 10 months later, over 50% of asked people stated that they had seen the crash and were also describing it in vivid detail. While schemas are extremely useful, they do alter our perception and therefore they created memories, making them inconsistent with the actual situation. But not only schemas can alter memory, one's bias can be even more effective. Racial stereotypes towards blacks influence one's perception, and objects or tools can be faster seen as weapons when carried by blacks. There's also the effect of retrospective biases, such as the hindsight bias, in which you adjust your memory to your advantage, making you look smarter while overriding your original memory. An example is the hindsight bias for the memory of a couple arguing. Half of the participants were told, after they had seen the couple argue, that they broke up afterwards. The other half were told the girl was found dead and her friend charged. The group which was told that the girlfriend was found dead remembered more threatening statements by the boy and even him hitting her. These retrospective biases can also influence reports of our own past, as they are biased by current attitudes, self-views, beliefs, or recently acquired information. While these problems usually don't have a huge effect on our everyday life, they become huge in our legal system. The memory of eyewitnesses in court will be strongly affected by which schemas were active when the original event occurred, meaning that even the most honest witness cannot presume to be entirely accurate, especially when the witness itself has certain biases or gets misinformed by other witnesses, resulting in false memory. So, whenever we remember or don't, we have to be aware that there's a huge margin for errors, but also that we ourselves create them.